Hey guys, my name's Justin and welcome to Health Bro, where we care about the design behind designer luxury. And if you do too, make sure to subscribe! So for today's video, I wanted to talk about some of my bucket list bags. Woo! Yeah, buckets. Buckets. I don't know. So bucket list bags, for me that means like something that you want to own before you die, right? Everyone knows what a bucket list is. I've actually been chipping away at my bucket list, and I actually have like a few different bags already that I've gotten from my bucket list that I've shown off in my bag collection video. I'll link it up there. So I'm only really gonna talk about one that I already have because it relates to one of the bags that's still on my list. So the first bag is actually a relative of this one. So this is the Chanel hula hoop in the medium size. But my wish is to eventually get the Chanel hula hoop in that extra large size that was on the runway that never fully went into production. The reason why this bag is so interesting is that culturally, within pop culture, etc., there's been so much attention given to it. Like Gia Gunn, when she made her debut on All Stars, she was carrying that bag. There's pictures of Kris Jenner carrying that bag for some reason. I don't know, but still. What Karl Lagerfeld actually said about that bag is it's meant to be a beach bag where you take it to the beach, you plop it on down, and then you hang your towel on it. And I think that's hilarious. I think it's so disrespectful to everything that Coco Chanel has built up, and that is why I love it. And that is why I want that bag. I loved Karl Lagerfeld because he would always push the boundaries, and he still took the house codes, but he kind of turned them on its head, flipped it inside out. He had such a reverence for Chanel that it allowed him to do things that would be disrespectful if anyone else did it. And that's, I think, the strength that he had when he was leading that design house. So quick side note, over half of the bags on this list are actually from Chanel. So I don't really talk about Chanel much recently because for me, Chanel is not super interesting right now. One thing that I actually am like seeing across like all of luxury fashion is like there's this certain like direction towards commercialism, and like we're losing the fashion and we're losing like the really like interesting, like brave attitude that people have had in so long, and I'm like so... No. Okay, I'm gonna stop. That will be a different video? Subscribe. Who knows, maybe it'll be. So this next bag I wanted to talk about, I'm gonna be honest, I forgot it existed until like 2 days ago. So this is a very new addition to my bucket list bags. I think partly why I hadn't remembered it is because I haven't seen it anywhere online. No one's selling it, there's none available anywhere on any like secondhand websites, which of course is also making me be like, I need it. But basically I love this bag because it is a Louis Vuitton collaboration with Comme des Garçons, but the idea is like it's this little like, I don't know, I feel like it's like the Nano Speedy basically, but then there's like series and multiple handles where, I don't know, I guess you're supposed to choose whichever handle you feel like carrying it by that day. But for me, it's like just pure excess, which I think is really funny for such like a tiny bag. Originally on my bucket list, I did have a different Comme des Garçons bag, the one that has the holes in it, but I mean, I guess that's still there, but it's not like top tier, not like this one is, because this one for me is just ridiculous. And if you know me, you know that I love ridiculousness. So that's another reason why that one's there. The next couple bags I want to talk about are actually both Chanel. Both of these came from the grocery store collection from Chanel back when, R.I.P. Karl, when Karl was still the creative director of the house. Miss him dearly. The grocery runway is absolutely one of my favorite collections that Chanel has ever had. Mainly because so many pieces were so amazing. Clothing being like very ahead of its time, realizing that athleisure would be so big as it is today. But the accessories were so insane. You have things like the plastic wrapped flat bag, you have the different like shopping totes, but then these two are on my list because these are so funny. So the first one is basically it's like a milk carton on a rope or on a chain. I don't know, I love when normal objects are taken and completely redone. So the idea of like a milk carton as a bag is just hilarious to me. This carton is done in like an opalescent leather with Lait de Coco, which like is like, oh, Coco Chanel's milk, but then it also translates as like coconut milk, which I think is also funny. It is a carton of milk on a Chanel chain strap, and I think that is hilarious. The other bag from that collection that I love is the grocery basket. Like it's made with the interwoven leather chain, like leather and metal chain, and it's just made into like a groceries basket. I don't know, it's so dumb. I think the idea for me is that if I had $1 million and like I had to spend it on like the most dumb stuff, I would be buying that basket, I would be buying multiple shaped flat bags, and I would carry those flat bags in that basket as my bag. That's kind of the idea for me. Like, I love the idea of just taking these mundane everyday things and then turning them into something kooky. And that is why those guys are on this list. Okay, so let's step away from Chanel. I've been talking about Chanel a lot. So one of the things also that is on here is actually pretty recent. It's from the Loewe Spirited Away collaboration. I originally thought that I would be okay without it since I wasn't able to get it, and I can't stop thinking about it. But it is a bag that's woven leather in the shape of the Susuwatari, which is the soot sprites. I don't know what to say about this. This bag doesn't look very functional. It basically is like a leather basket on a strap, but it's so cute. I don't know where it's gonna go on screen, but wherever it is, look at it. Like, look at how cute it is. It's this little like puffball with like 2 eyes and just little dangling feet. I don't know, if that doesn't get you, nothing's gonna melt your icy heart, sorry. So the next couple bags, I'm gonna kind of group together because A, they're the same brand, and B, they kind of do similar things but in very different ways. So of course they're both Chanel, because I'm a sucker for Karl Lagerfeld, of course. Ugh. The first bag is the Millennium. So it is basically a molded bag where I think it's like molded plastic and then they applied leather to it. And then it comes with a like brushed silver, like it almost looks like a watch strap type of chain around it. And then the interior is divided with, it looks like lacing that you would see on the back of a corset or something like that. But the idea of it is that it looks like an upturned bust. But I think a lot of people agree that it also just looks like a butt, so people call it the butt bag, and that's one of the reasons why I like it. Like, who doesn't want something from Chanel called the butt bag? Oh, I like your bag. Thanks, it's the butt bag. It takes all of the house codes and kind of subverts them. Like, it still has that same luxurious black leather, but instead of it being this like squishy soft thing, it's made firm, but then still, because it resembles like what he would have called the female form, you have that appearance of softness, but it's still hard because it is molded. And then you still get the Chanel chain, but then instead of it being the interwoven leather chain, it's like this watch strap type chain. I think it's like so smart and so, I mean, as subversive as someone from one of the biggest luxury houses globally can be when it comes to like looking inward to the house and to the brand. The other one is, this one, it's just kind of dumb. So we have the traditional Chanel classic flap, right? So you take that bag, but then you just like, boop, and then you turn it sideways, and that is what this bag is. So it's called the Chanel Upside Down. It's basically, I've only ever seen it in patent leather, which I'm not the biggest fan of patent leather, but it's the only way it comes, so I'll take it. But then it's just, you put the chain on the side, and then it becomes this like shoulder bag. I've seen people wear it as crossbody, but I don't think it's as cute. But the idea of like carrying a bag that's like a Chanel classic flap, but it's sideways, is just hilarious to me. And then the fact that it's not done in like the typical caviar or lambskin, and rather it's done in a patent. I think that's also very funny. I don't know if you guys are seeing a theme, but I love bags that like take something typical, something normal, and just kind of like flip it. That's kind of like my whole MO, I think, in general. I mean, I'm wearing a freaking denim jacket that has like one pocket, but then this is so short, and then it just falls off your shoulder. And I don't know, I like it. And then the last two on this list are both also kind of dumb. So they're both just light up bags. I think it probably has to do with the fact that like, I don't think I ever like growing up had a pair of like light up sneakers. Oh, that's sad. So these are both bags that just have LEDs built in. So the first one is, of course, it's another Chanel bag. The boy bag with LED lights built in, and it's not one of the most classic bags from Chanel because the boy is probably the most masculine, blah blah blah, whatever. But the fact that they made the chain this like oil slick iridescent, and then they added an LED light that like changes and it shows like the double C's and it says Chanel on it, and it's just kind of like this funky thing, I think is so hilarious, and I would love to have one. I wouldn't even know where to start looking for that one though. And then on the other side we have the Louis Vuitton Keepall that also has like LED. This is something that Virgil Abloh actually put out, and it just has the LV monogram light up in different rainbow colors, and I think that's great. You know, when you're like on the boardwalk or like at a tourist trap or something, and like they have something that's like, it looks kind of normal and then it just like lights up for no reason. It's kind of like that. Like it makes it look kitschy and looks dumb. I guess that's the whole theme for everything. I just like whenever you take like classics or you take house codes or things that are generally understood from brands and you turn it so it still is recognizable as the brand, but then maybe it's done in a way that, I don't know, some people would see as disrespectful, or some people would never think to do it. I'm just a huge fan of that. One of the reasons why most of my bucket list bags aren't just typical, oh, I want to have a classic flap, or I want to have this or that, is because I really wanted to make sure when I'm curating a collection, it's going to be something that, I don't know, I can be like proud of and can relate back to fashion history. A lot of these have a specific touch point, whether it's the year or the collection or something like that. There's something that relates to where it was in that point of fashion history, and it oftentimes will be able to tell a bigger story than just what it tells itself. Like a picture tells 1,000 words or whatever. Like these bags, they're more than just what they are. They're layered and they have their story, but then they have the story behind the story and the context to the story, and I think that is the coolest thing possible. But yeah, I'm a nerd. Those are my bucket list bags. Let me know, do we have any of the same things on our bucket lists? If they are, that means we're gonna have to be nemesis. Are we gonna have to fight over them? Do you think any of them are good, bad? Let me know, what's your bucket list? Do you have a bag that you want to own before you enter a new dimension? Let me know. I love to hear from you guys. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know that you like this kind of content and that you too care about the design behind designer luxury. Until next time, it's a bucket list.